Our first gel that we're going to go into now is called First and Last. First and Last is our bonding gel and our finishing gel. I work with 2 pots of First and Last. I keep one pot up on my light unit to keep it warm, and a second pot I keep at room temperature. This is my first layer. It is my bonding layer. Now with that said, let's go into our application. The way that you pick your gel up becomes very important. You want complete control in your application, so your gel needs to be controlled on your brush. I like to recommend that you just place the tip of your brush in the gel, pull it towards you, and lift. Empty side of the brush to the ceiling. Notice there's a little string. Break it on the edge of your container and bring it back in. And you've got your bead set on the tip of your brush, one side clean and empty, one side ready for controlled application. We go to the nail bed. Brush that bead through the center of the nail plate, just like you were putting on a polish. Very carefully. Notice that my brush is not fanning out. We're not getting this. No dead weight. Our brush is simply working on the surface with a light pressure. I've left a small space all the way around that edge, the growth channel, the cuticle line, and the corners. Now we're going to go into what we call our pillowing technique. We're going to place a small amount of pressure on that bead. See how as I gently press, it pops out all the way around the tip. This is called a pillow. I'm going to lightly press the edge of that pillow until I see it come as close to the skin as I can without touching. Press it and then lift and release. Press it, lift, and then release. See it move into the cuticle corner. Notice so that I'm not pressing my brush dead into it. It's not squishing it out. It's just guiding that rounded edge right up along the growth channel. As I move along to the side of the nail, that bead came out the side of my brush. Now I'm going to go back to the center. Again, press. I'm pushing into the cuticle corner with the corner of my bristles. I'm coming up the growth channel with the side of my bristles. What I'm doing with the pillowing technique is creating what we call a surface tension control. So I'm putting, in essence, a small dam of control all the way around my application so I can get a fullness of gel without it running away on me. This is the only gel that I'm going to apply in that regrowth position. My nail fill is done as far as the regrowth goes. Now we'll go into our snow application. Again, I pick up my bead of gel with the tip of my brush. The position of your brush and the application of snow is essential that you have a very light touch. We press that bead very gently, just off center. Bring our brush in small circles over top of it like we're rolling over top of a marble almost. What I'd like you to notice is how my brush turns on its edge as I get into the tuck and the edge of the smile. As I work on the edge of the nail with the edge of my brush, I draw that snow out. And that is my initial bead application, starting that corner of the smile line. If we look at it from the side, you can see some thickness here. I'm going to connect to my thickness and lift my pressure just so I'm barely floating, connected, but not in the gel, floating on top with a parallel position. This motion that I'm making now that's extending the gel out is called a tuck and a pull, tuck and a pull. Now I've distributed that bead sufficiently. I've got half of that free edge created. I'll go back, pick up another small bead, break the tail, bring my bead back. I'm going to press again where I left off to connect and lift my pressure. Notice I'm up and away from my gel. Now I'm going into a circular motion that moves the gel across the nail. What I'd like you to notice at the same time is how my brush is parallel to that curved surface. Now I want to lengthen with a tuck and a pull. Moving across. Look at how my brush gets to the edge before my gel. I'm not pushing my gel like that. I'm pulling it with a light, even motion. On the edge, to create the edge, tuck into the tuck of the smile line, draw it right out the edge, return to the surface with the tuck and the pull to smooth it in. And voila, we have our application. Smile line is not even. I didn't try for even. Remember all that removal I did in here? I didn't have an edge of gel to follow. Over here I had a bit of one. So now I'm going to wipe my smile line in. In a demo, I'm going to wipe one at a time as I go. One of the advantages of snow, though, to keep in mind is it doesn't move. Look at this. It's not running. It's not moving. So I can truly move across all 5 nails without having to wipe my smile line. For wiping, I do hold the finger from underneath to move my hand out of position. To wipe my smile line, I start in the middle of the smile line with the corner of my brush. I'm going to start right there. Wipe away from myself. As I get down into the tuck, I twist my brush slightly to create a nice tuck in the smile. To do the other side, I'm going to take my brush and turn it. Start in the same position, wipe away. Look at how I twist my brush as I get into the corner of the nail. So that brings that tuck nice and even. I like to wipe from middle to the edges in 2 portions so that I balance that smile line out. And then I can take my brush and clean the edges up if so needed, just very, very carefully, so I get the beautiful application. And because it's not self-leveling, I get to go and do the thumb at the same time. You may find, though, that while you're developing your skill, you might squish everything when you go to do the thumb. So let's wipe these smile lines and freeze them in this case. So I've already wiped the first one. Let's go on the second one again. Using the side of the tip of the brush, I sweep down into the corner, turn the brush over, and make sure you connect to that gel with it and give it a sweep. Now we're going to ask Susan to go into the light and freeze again for about 10 seconds now for the snow.